I'm Artie Shidler, and I hurt my ulnar collateral ligament.
Okay, I'm Jaimie, and I'm going to start Artie off with the beginning exercises. So first of all, I would have him do ball squeezes. So this is an isometric exercise, and he's just gonna squeeze the ball. So he's not really moving, he's just contracting the muscle. Okay, next I would have him work on his flexors and extensors. So to isolate that, I could hold down and then you're just going to curve.
What is this working? Wrist extensors?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now we're going to have Artie work on pronation and supination. So when he's doing this, you want to make sure he has his elbow at a 90-degree angle, and then you're just going to pronate and supinate. Alright, now Artie is going to do bicep curls, and since we're in the beginning stage, he's going to do it without any weight. And to isolate the bicep, then I can stabilize the shoulder, and then he's going to curl up. And he can also turn his arm to where he pronates and supinates as he's going up and through the full motion. I'm going to have Artie do scapula squeezes. So you're going to bring your shoulders up and squeeze your scaps together. And then if you want, you can maybe like stick your hand or something and see if they can squeeze your hand when they do it. And then each time you want to make sure that they hold it for a couple seconds. Now he's going to do ulnar deviation movements. So first he's going to flex his wrist, and then he's going to ulnar deviate. And to isolate the forearm, I can hold this down so it's focusing only in this area. This size is an isometric wrist contraction. So if you don't have any weights available, then you can have your athlete put their hands together, and then they're just gonna like squeeze together. You're just contracting the wrist. If you do have a weight, then you want them to put their hand underneath the weight, and then you can isolate the forearm, and then you're just gonna have them like contract up, so push up against the weight without lifting the weight actually up. So they're just contracting against it and then relaxing. And you can see where he's doing that. Next I'm gonna have Artie do prone arm raises. So make sure that the athlete is on their stomach, and then he can start with flexion. So you're gonna lift your arm up and back down. And they can do this 3 sets of 10. And then if you want, they can go in different directions. So if you want to go extension, extension. And then he can also do abduction. So this exercise, Artie is going to have his shoulder up against the wall, and then he's going to just push against. So he's just contracting. This is a isometric shoulder contraction. Okay, just like with any injury, whether upper body or lower body, it's important to not forget about the core. So we're gonna have Artie just do leg lifts because it doesn't involve working the arm or the shoulder. So, but this is still strengthening his core. I'm going to start Artie off with the beginning exercises. So first of all, I would have him do ball squeezes. So this is an isometric exercise, and he's just gonna squeeze the ball. So he's not really moving, he's just contracting the muscle. I'm gonna have Artie do scapula squeezes. So you're going to bring your shoulders up and squeeze your scaps together. And then if you want, you can maybe like stick your hand or something and see if they can squeeze your hand when they do it. And then each time you want to make sure that they hold it for a couple seconds. Okay, next I would have him work on his flexors and extensors. So to isolate that, I could hold down and then you're just going to curl.
Was this working? Wrist extensors?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, next exercise we're going to be doing is a hammer curl with a TheraBand. And what she's going to do is bring this to the side, keeping a hammer curl grip, and she's going to raise up like this, really concentrating on isolating the shoulder and keeping it back toward the bicep. This will also work the inside of the forearm. To begin with, we're going to use the upper body ergometer. So she's going to slide her hand in here and grasp it firmly, and then she's going to begin rotating. This would begin to start off to around 3 to 5 minutes. Also, to work core, tightening your core and abdominal muscles will help that too. That way you're working everything. The next exercise we're going to be doing is the self-resisted shoulder elbow flexion. And to do this, she's going to be doing it because she will know her pain tolerance that she can have. So I'm going to be isolating the shoulder, and she's going to grasp her wrist and come into elbow flexion. Exercise is external rotation with a TheraBand, and what she's going to do is grab one of the TheraBands, yellow being the easiest, and red being kind of an intermediate. And to make this harder, she could come out further to increase more tension, but to start her off, we're going to have her come in close. And she really wants to isolate the shoulder and push the elbow into the side, and then she's going to externally rotate. Yeah, next exercise we're going to be doing is a hammer curl with a TheraBand. And what she's going to do is bring this to the side, keeping a hammer curl grip, and she's going to raise up like this, really concentrating on isolating the shoulder and keeping it back toward the bicep. This will also work the inside of the forearm. The next exercise is a side lying external rotation, and we have chosen a light pound dumbbell, which is around 2 pounds. So to begin with, she's going to be lying on her side and bringing the dumbbell to external rotation. She's going to hold and then go slow down. Following exercise is going to be a prone row, and we're using a light dumbbell for this. And what you are really working on here is the scap. So she's going to grab the dumbbell. You don't want to chicken wing your elbow. You want to concentrate on keeping it in, so you really squeeze the scap. And you can also isolate this to feel the flexion. Make sure they have a good hold at the top, and then go down. Prone shoulder extension is the next exercise, and again we have chosen to use a light dumbbell for this. So what she's going to do is grab the dumbbell, and she can even lean off a little bit more to isolate it more. And I'm going to squeeze here, and so she's isolating that, and she's going to come back into extension and holding, and then go down. Hold at the top, go down. The next exercise we're going to be doing is a wrist flexion and extension with a light dumbbell. So really the emphasis here is really contracting the inner muscles of the forearm, and we are going to be isolating the forearm at the top, and she's going to bring it up and curl. And then holding at the top will contract even more. And at the same time I'm going to hold at the top, and she's going to extension. The next exercise is forearm pronation and supination. You can either do this with a cuff weight, or you can do an arm wrestling technique. So what she's going to do is grab my hand, and I'm going to resist her on the way down of or pronation, and on the way back she's going to resist me for pronate or supination. The next exercise is a Russian twist for core with a weighted ball. So what she's going to be doing is contracting her core, making sure she touches the side of the ground, and then back. Slow, controlled reps. Okay, the next exercise is a advanced exercise, and we're going to be doing a weighted 90-90 ball toss at a trampoline. So she's going to come into 90-90 and concentrate on throwing at this point. Got it. The next exercise is a weighted ball throw from adduction with 0 degrees of abduction. So she's going to hold her elbow here, concentrating on adduction, and she's going to throw into the trampoline. Last one. The next exercise is a weighted ball arc, and we're going to start here, and we're going to arc with touching or passing the ball back and forth between you and the wall, completing one arc. The next exercise is a weighted ball toss, and you're going to isolate the wrist or the forearm, and she's going to toss the ball up with her wrist. The next exercise is a seated press up, and the subject is going to be sitting in a chair and going to hold the sides, and what she's going to do is push up and flex the shoulders, press up and hold, and then go down.
The next exercise is a push-up, wanting to focus on having a straight body and keeping the head up and keeping your core tight and trying to get the elbows down at 90 degrees or lower.
Next exercise is a weighted overhead tricep extension. You want a comfortable weight for the subject, so she's going to come up here and she's going to go down behind the head and up and really flex the tricep. There, flex the tricep.
The next exercise is the body blade, which can be done in intervals of 30 seconds. Artie is going to hold his arms straight out and then move the body blade.
The next exercise is Swiss ball perturbations. So she's going to be holding her arm here, and I'm just going to be hitting from all sides, and she's going to balance. The next exercise is a weighted bicep curl. She's going to start on the side, and she is going to, I'm going to isolate her shoulder, and she's going to come up and contract, and she can focus on the eccentric part, which is going down. Just a slow on the way down. Exercise is planks with a row, and she's using a light weight. So what she's really going to be emphasizing here is flexion of the core and then rowing. Holding at the top. There you go.
Moving into the advanced phase of rehab, or the functional phase of rehab, we would start with the body blade and moving it through the entire pitching motion. So we'd start at 90-90 and move it through. And go back up. The next exercise we're going to have Artie do is a weighted ball throw at the trampoline, but to make this more functional, he's going to be actually going through the entire pitching motion. So, yeah.
Alright.
Good. We're going to have Artie do moving push-ups, and this will focus on strengthening the shoulder and creating stability. So he's just going to hold the plank position and move side to side. The next exercise we're going to do is a kettlebell swing. So we're going to use a weighted kettlebell to start in a squat body motion and swing all the way up and then back down. Next exercise we're going to do is to simulate gameplay. So I'm going to roll the ball out to Artie, and he's going to act like he's fielding it, and then throw it at the wall. Ready? The next exercise we're going to do is progressive throwing distances. So first we're going to start out at 30 feet and do so many throws, and then move to 60 feet, and then move to 90 feet. Starting at 30 feet, we're just going to throw it back and forth. Good. Next we're going to have him throw through a fastball throwing motion. Next exercise we'll have them do is go through a curveball throwing motion. So
Next exercise we're going to be doing is for functional testing, and it is base throwing. And I'm going to be throwing it to Shelby. She's going to throw it back, and I'm going to be throwing it to Logan.
for our final core exercise, we're going to do mountain climbers, which is a good functional exercise because it gets the heart rate up. So he's going to get into a plank position and alternate legs.
Looks like an A squad to me.
You really want to emphasize on keeping a straight back, tightening the core, and going down. Keep your head up and forward. Hitting the sides. She's going to push up. Seriously.
Stop saying that!
I'm Johnny Knoxville.
I hate you so much. Go. Go.
Weighted bicep curl. Just keep going.
No!
Come on.
You guys. Go. It wasn't even funny.
The next exercise we would have Artie do is
What the heck? Oh
next exercise.
Seriously, Artie.
So I'm going to roll the ball out to Arthur, like. Sorry. The next exercise we're going to do is progressive.
Sorry.
Since it gets the heart rate going.